Welcome to the Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees meeting for Monday, January the 12th, 2026. Happy New Year, everybody out there listening and our full audience tonight. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and welcome. Looks like we have a nice crowd tonight. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we offer public comment as item number one. If you're here to make a comment on any issue within the township, you can come up to the podium to my right, your left, and we'll give you 3 minutes. I'm looking around the room. I don't see any takers, so we'll close public comment and move to consider the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I would have the payroll and vouchers I would like removed.
Okay.
And John, during the last meeting, said we should do the employment agreements as separate items. Because I had asked if we could do it as a consent decree. He said he'd prefer that we do them as individual items.
Okay.
So let's,
Well,
I think that was referring to the labor agreements.
Yeah.
You're talking about the employment agreements for the police officers?
for the village police
The,
officers,
yeah, for the
right?
village
That's a
police.
non-union.
Yeah, that's not union.
Yeah.
It's still an employment contract. I'd like to keep the same standard.
Okay. Well, we just received them back, and here, support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. Thank you. All right, item number 3, consider resolution to establish salary and benefits for the supervisor presented by Clerk Martin Brook.
Okay, so I have a few notes. I mean, this is an important topic to be discussed, so I want to lay out some thinking. The Treasurer, Shostak, Supervisor McCready, and myself spent some time working on these, and you can see the proposed resolution in the packet. But, it's quick to note, over the past months, the township has worked on implementing a recent compensation study to make us competitive in our wage and benefit structure. This effort was led by Township Treasurer Shostak and key staff. But of course, collective bargaining agreements are a team effort. Nearly every employee in the township is covered by a union. Each contract passed with very wide margins. So now, the elected officials, we turn to ourselves and have some choices to make. So first, I want to note that a state statute directs that our compensation is set by the Board of Trustees or is set by a compensation commission. Next to 0 townships actually utilize a compensation commission. Bloomfield, for instance, never has. We worked to create a proposal that was in line with the compensation study, determined in an objective fashion and conservative. So let me talk briefly about each of those things. Each of the numbers presented are within a few $100s of the independent compensation study that was conducted in 2024. In the past, item 2, in the past our pay was tied to increases we negotiated with department heads. Some have criticized this approach. Therefore, we looked to a new measure that was reasonable and independent. We settled upon the inflation rate multiplier. This is a rate determined by the state and used by townships and cities to set tax rates, millages. We propose increases set to the amount of the inflation determined by the state and the inflation rate multiplier, which this year is a 2.7% raise. And by the way, that inflation rate multiplier is always capped at 5%. It can never go higher than 5%. It could be much, much lower. And historically, it has been much, much lower. And by the way, this is in line also with the general union raises, and in fact, much smaller than many who needed to be adjusted for competitive compensation reasons. We also expanded the scope of benefits to which we are not entitled. So effective in 2020, after decades of providing vehicles, the elected officials decided no longer to provide themselves a vehicle and did not take the $8,000 car allowance provided to department heads. This remains the same in these proposals. No vehicle, no car allowance. In my case, for instance, this means for the past 5 years, I've foregone $40,000 in what otherwise would have been compensation that my predecessor was receiving. Also, we decided that elected officials should not get longevity and should not get retention bonuses. Our predecessors received these payments. As of this resolution, elected officials will not. I am told, we have constrained benefits in the ways discussed, created an independent factor for annual raises, kept our salaries in line with an independent compensation study. And for these reasons, I recommend the adoption of the compensation resolutions. And there are 3 of them. The first one is I move, and then we could discuss, I'm sure, that to adopt the resolution to establish the salary and benefits for the supervisor.
Quick question. So the total comp package went down for everyone?
The compensation went up in line with the independent compensation study. The benefits went down in relationship to the prior standard, which was to attach it to department heads.
Correct. And the question I'm asking, with the 2.7% increase, is that offset by the $8,000 car allowance?
No, I don't. I'd have to do the math for sure, but
It'd be lower.
2.7% of
Say 150 would
could
be,
be, is probably a little lower than the
Low-
car
lower.
allowance.
yeah, it'd be lower.
It's-
And again,
So the
the-
car allowance is a bigger reduction than the 2.7% of an
Yeah,
increase.
the increase in 2.7% increase
From like
is less than
150,000.
the reduction in the car allowance, so the overall net is less.
Based, yeah.
Okay.
And none of our elected officials that are currently here did receive a car allowance and has never
Right.
received a car.
Okay.
Yeah. We can come in and take a fleet vehicle if we're going somewhere. That's what some will do.
I used one today.
For like overnight or when you're doing clerk duties,
Well, I had to go to Lansing one day. I went and got a fleet vehicle, drove it to Lansing and back.
which makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I wanted the residents to hear that the overall compensation package as a dollar value was going down. I thought it would be,
And in the MAG study, if you look at the MAG study, some of the salaries were much higher recommended than where we're going, like $20,000 to $60,000, and $50,000 more, and that's just way too much. Even though if you look around at surrounding communities, we're still at or below some of our peer groups here.
okay.
And in those other communities, they either get a car or a car allowance. So I think we're being conservative but yet competitive.
Martin, can you remind us what the supervisor's salary currently is? Like, how much of an increase is that?
I don't have that number right in front of me.
I think going into April 1st, it'd be about a 7.4% increase. And there hasn't been an increase in the supervisor position in 2 years.
I thought they were getting increases when, because you passed on it last year.
Yeah, I just came in and I had to study the MAG study and do comparisons. And I think it was better to get the employees taken care of before we did anything further for the executive offices.
I just have a couple comments. When you guys presented it to us, I did a bunch of research on some of our competitors and our peer groups in municipalities around. And it seems that our benefits package that we offer to our executive group here is actually lower than a lot of our peers. When you look at some of the other cities, what they offer for their city managers or their department heads, you guys have foregone a lot of those benefits. So I think this is a very modest ask and very conservative, and it continues to show that you guys have continued to put forth the residents first and our labor first, more than taking care of yourselves. So I am very in favor of this, and I think this is a very reasonable ask from you guys.
And I'm also supportive of the request, certainly compared to some of the surrounding communities who have city managers or superintendents along with an executive, which are significantly higher than our supervisor, treasurer, and clerk would be making. So I think it's very fair, and it's conservative, and certainly as stewards of the taxpayers' money, I think we are doing that. But at the same time, ensuring that we get, we're putting in place salaries that will attract good people, because I must say, that most of the people in these positions could be making significantly more money in the private sector. There's no question about it, 2 to 3 times more conservatively. So I think that it's a good balance.
There's no other comments, we'll take a motion.
Well, I value you guys, these three, and appreciate and want you guys to stay. I just have, and I talked to a couple of the board members privately about it, I just have concerns about the 5%, that's higher than what any of the unions would get, and that might cause controversy, resentment. It also, at the higher salary levels, 5% adds up and compounds pretty quickly if we hit that, in terms of budgeting, in terms of our future. Personally, I'm very concerned about the state of our country right now, and that we could have a recession. We unfortunately saw one of those, and, even have things like, the layoffs are up, and unemployment's up, and housing values could fall, and then that is our tax base. And the last time housing values fell so hard, the residents spoke up and wanted tax relief, not tax increase at the rate of inflation. So I just have concerns. It's nothing personal at all. But as a fiduciary for the residents, personally, I didn't vote for a raise for the trustees either, you guys know. I'm not comfortable with it. So I have reservations. I'm very worried about the state of our whole country right now, and the things that happened even just today with the Federal Reserve. It's worrisome. So that's where I'm at.
Great, thank you. Just for a tidbit of additional information, since the inflation rate multiplier has been calculated by the state only twice since 1995 has it reached 5%.
Right.
So most years it's very low. So could it be 5%? Yes. But it's a very rare occurrence. And in this year, in fact, it's just 2.7%.
Well, and I appreciate everything you guys shared with me, and
Thank you.
I value our treasurer. He and I talked about some things, and I feel we're in good hands. And I also want to keep you guys. I wouldn't want any resentment over, not from you guys, hopefully.
Right.
No, I mean, with election and that, it's just, I'm not quite as comfortable with it.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve as submitted.
Support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, passes 6-1. Item number 4, consider resolution to establish salary and benefits for the clerk, presented by Martin Brook.
So it's just exactly what I said previously concerning the effort we made in coming up with this, and the resolution presents the same format as the supervisor.
Make a motion
Except
that
for the lower
we
salary.
approve unless there's additional discussion.
Support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
6-1, thank you. Item number 5, consider resolution to establish salary and benefits for a treasurer, presented by Clerk Martin Brook.
Again, same background and information concerning this resolution as previously presented, except for the salary is a little lower than the supervisor, and it's the same as the clerk.
Motion that we approve as presented.
Support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Passes 6-1, thank you. Okay, item number 5E, we'll call it, approve the updated employment agreements with the Bloomfield Village Police Officers. Martin?
Okay, so in line with the collective bargaining agreements, there are police officers who are not in a union, whose compensation is set in coordination with Bloomfield Village. They also pay for these costs, and however, they are formerly employees of the township. So these contracts have been discussed with the officers and have been approved by the village council and signed by the officer and the village manager. And I have 5 of them.
There's 5 officers. And the
5.
village carries its own millage that pays for these officers. And they kind of negotiate and follow the contracts that we have negotiated.
Right, so the same version I have here in front of me, which is the execution version, was provided in the packet,
Yep.
right? So I make a motion that we approve the contract for Officer Stephen Cook.
Support.
Do you want to go through each individual contract, or do you want to do them all all together? Because they're all the same.
They are, but I think the request was to do one at a
think
time.
let's stay consistent with.
You want to do one at a
what-
time?
Yeah.
Okay,
with
so,
what John
so there a
recommended.
motion for Steve Cook's contract?
Support. There was,
Support.
Martin made the
Martin
motion.
made the motion.
I supported.
Support, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, passes. And that would be for Cook. Okay, got it. That was passed 7-0. Okay, next one is?
Right. So the next one is for Officer Brian Crane,
Crane?
correct? C-R-A-N-E.
Yep, okay.
I move we
Support.
approve the contract.
Support, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Next one, Martin?
This is for the employment agreement with Officer Paul Schwab.
Schwab, okay.
I move we approve the contract as presented.
Support.
Support, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes 7-0. Next one, Martin?
This is for the employment agreement with Officer Thomas Orlowski. I move that we approve the contract as presented.
Support, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Next contract, Martin?
This is for the employment contract for Officer John Schlabach.
Yep.
I move that we approve the contract as presented.
Support,
Support.
all in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes 7-0. Okay, thank you. Okay, item number, it would be 5G, we'll call it, payroll and vouchers for January 12th, 2026. Mark?
Yes, my no vote stands. For public safety, we already know that from the June 30th report, that their expenses have exceeded their starting fund balance and the revenue that they've collected. The board should know where the cash is coming from to pay those bills. The debits have been recorded. The credits should also be recorded. And we don't see the transfers that we would normally see in a audit from the general fund into public safety. And even if it is a loan, that means the cash has to go into the public safety account and then from public safety back to the general fund. And that transfer back has never been approved in the budget. So and that's why I'm voting no.
Okay, and that paperwork that you had sent to us, I think Jason and Michael have been working on it. So probably in our next meeting, we can run through that and help clear up some of those misconceptions.
That would be great.
Okay, a motion to approve item 5G.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
6-1, thank you. And finally, we have moved for
Move adjourn.
adjourn.
Support.
Support, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, thank you, everybody. Happy New Year.